What's up, my dudes? We got some free riding on MX versus ATV Unleashed Northern Lights. You remember back in the day when they actually had cool biomes on motocross games? Yeah, back in those days. Oh, God, dude. This is one of the cooler ones back in the day that I think a lot of us remember, and I even remembered this from back in the day, and I didn't even really play this game a whole lot back in the day, and I still remember this track from back in the day way before I got into real life motocross. There's just something about it when you get a cool biome track, it just sticks in your mind, dude. Like I don't know any other way to explain it, but there's just some way to do it. So I remember this track from back in the day being like that old school snow map on a motocross game. I didn't even really remember that it had the whole Northern Lights aspect to it, so that's kind of a cool little thing that I didn't remember until I came back in the game nowadays. So yeah, it was just, I mean, when you go back in these old school games and look at all of the different track biomes and themes and vibes, whatever you want to call them, it's like there's a different one for every single track. And it's like actually something different, you know? And I just can't tell you what that does for the overall variation of the game and not making it feel so stagnant and repetitive. And it seems like nowadays with motocross games, they're way too strict on making like super realistic standard real life biomes that you see every single day. It's like, oh my God, get a little more boring, could you? Like, good God. You know, and it's not like Northern Lights or a snow track is like crazy fantasy or unrealistic. It's just something cool and unique. And they've got multiple different tropical tracks on this game. They've got one that's like right by a beach, really cool. Oh God, that is definitely the border. Nice look at the Northern Lights. Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can land and get back on the track. All right. Okay, so yeah, but like I just got done riding on some of the tropical tracks, and they had some really cool desert tracks with cactuses in here. There's just all different kinds of cool, fun, unique biomes and stuff, and even the way some of the tracks were designed, it's like far from cookie cutter. You know, I know that the motocross track I was just on, one of the desert ones. I mean, it had a really cool thing where he jumped back over the track. Good Lord, Spencer, pop off that bike one more time. God dang. I'm like landing just perfect enough to where it's popping me off, but basically, like just the way some of the track designs are, where it's like they got that cool elevation. You'll come around a corner, and this could hurt, boys. We're good. Oh, that's the edge. Yep, okay. You'll come around a corner, and it'll like have cool areas where you jump back over the track. You have like whoops going up a hill. All just, I don't know how to explain it. Just far from feeling like every on-track feels like every other track in the game. You know, everything kind of has its own little feeling, unique kind of feeling, not only biome off-track, but also on-track design and feeling. Everything's just got a little bit of a different feel. And I think there was a snow track on the, where's the edge out here? I need to be careful. I think there was a snow track like this in one of the ATV games, like ATV Off-Road Fury or one of those. There was a snow track that I remember pretty specifically as well. So kind of had a bit of a similar look to this. Not exact, but similar. So, yeah, man, just doing some free riding, chill talking. Nickelback because of you. Oh, man. That whole era of, like, the 2000s, that was an interesting era, dude. I guess when you're living through it, you don't think of it as being a era. It's kind of weird how that happens, but you know, like me being born, I touched down in 96, knew I was a man by the age of 6. Basically, I lived through all the early 2000s, right? And it didn't feel like, oh, we're going to look back on this and it's going to have this certain vibe, or like, you know, all of the alternative rock and all the motocross in the early 2000s and all that. I guess you just don't think about it when you're living in it and going through it. It's weird. And then nowadays you look back on it like it's this legendary, epic, like old school type of feel, and going back to the old games, like, oh my gosh. And that whole thing that happens with video games, like, oh, dude. I need a pop off the bike counter on this video. Good God, Spencer. Dang, dude. It's like you're playing MXGP Pro or some shit. I when you're free riding, you got to be careful because you will sky out a 7,000 foot jump and just land it flat like this if you're not careful. You know, the perfect example right there. Let's see, Exhibit A. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah, basically, oh my gosh, dude, who fucked with my suspension clicker before this video? I can't land shit. I think it's because it's got just this perfectly flat surface right here, and that's not normally how tracks are in the game. I think that's what kills you more than anything, is that landing on that perfectly flat, both wheels at the same time. That's just like asking to fall off at that point. But yeah, it's interesting, all the different eras, you know, and even back in like the 80s and in the 90s, I mean, just the 80s with Def Leppard and all that, I mean, that was like a whole nother kind of era and designed everything. The 90s had its own kind of feel. Early 2000s has its own feel. And then just the 2000s has its own feel. And then, you know, 2010 onward has its own feel. It's just crazy how it all, I guess we're still in, oh, what the hell? Can't jump on that? I guess we're still in technically the 2010s. You know what I'm saying? Right now, so we haven't really gotten to the point where we can look back on it and it really have like a quote-unquote feeling to it, because when you're living in it, it doesn't really have that kind of feeling. But it's all in like when you look back in the next decade, when you actually see truly what was going down in that decade there. So it'll be interesting to see all that once we look back. But yeah, man, these old games, they definitely had a feeling to them, dude, without a doubt. And I know there's some little tricks on reflex when you're jumping stuff really big to not actually pop off the bike. I don't really remember every little trick to this. Obviously, I'm trying to like lean forward and lean back, get a little slightly on the back wheel before I land some of these big landings. And it helps me here and there, but I'm certainly having some issues, some troubles. So, yeah. But either way, guys, I appreciate all the support. We're working hard at it. We're doing everything we can. So, going to be getting into the real-life riding very, very soon. That's going to be, like, popping off. I'm going to go to the track probably 2 or 3 times. Just try to, you know, knock the cobwebs off a little bit. And then I'll get the GoPro out, start running that. I want to get into to recording some woods riding, practicing. That'd be kind of cool. Some enduro stuff in real life. Because I do ride on that as well. But also the motocross. I mean, there are some motocross tracks where I live, but not a lot. So I don't want to, like, burn it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, have 5,000 different GoPro videos on the same exact track. Like, I want to try to get a little bit of variation within that. And, yeah, as you can see, I don't know any of these big gaps here on this track. Oh, man, this is rough. Oh, don't pop off again. Oh, my God, dude. What in the hell? It's like you land down in these little valleys, and basically the bottom of the track just comes out from underneath you, and it like has these perfectly flat little, like where a lake might be or something, and you just pop right off, dude. I almost think, and this is gonna sound weird, but I almost think having a little bit of an uphill in this game, landing on that is better than landing on flat. Is that just me thinking that, or what the hell? I mean, that seems like that's. Like, if it's perfectly flat landing, you're probably going to die. Like, no questions asked, dude. So, how hard is it to wheelie in this game? Is it that? Can you even wheelie in this game? Let's see. Yeah. You can wheelie. Okay. Man, it's just, trees. Okay. All right, let's see. Let me try to get over here on this flat area so we can ride some wheelies. Okay, let's hold the clutch, pop it. Okay, yeah, I've done that in real life before, more than once. All right, let's see, got to kind of learn our, where we're at here in the wheelie. Yeah, this is going to be a little tricky. This isn't like a super easy wheelie system. Like, you know, I can like get it going after I get just a little bit of speed. It's tricky for me to do a wheelie with a one-stick control motocross game. That's very tricky to me because I'm used to having that, like, counterbalancing the wheelie with leaning with the other thumbstick, basically. And this is really hard because as soon as you lean back, if you're going too slow, it wants to flip right over instantly like that. But if you start going fast and you pop the wheelie up, it just kind of glides down like you run out of power. You know what I'm saying? To keep the wheelie up. Just kind of goes down. So, yeah, that's what she said, and that ain't good at all, bro. Okay. Oh, my God, dude. This is rough. I mean, even in reflex, it's a little bit tricky to ride wheelies. Like, if you've tried to ride wheelies in reflex, like, it's a sure enough skill in that game. Like, it's borderline too hard in reflex. I mean, but I like the way it is in reflex. This right here is, like, unreal difficult. I mean, almost, like, not even doable difficult, unless I'm just totally doing something wrong. Like, I mean, I barely even get on the gas, and it wheelies up like that when I'm at a dead stop. So that's kind of weird, but let's see. See, that's just like barely. Maybe I need to lean forward. We'll see. Try that. Lean. Oh, there's a stoppie. So if you lean forward, it doesn't come up at all. If I just do like this, doesn't come up at all. So you have to lean back. Lean back, lean forward really quick. Ooh, this is, there we go. Finally had it going there a little bit. Oh my gosh, man, the whole wheelie thing is definitely a trick. I think reflex is pretty good, like wheelie system, but it's easy to like pull up a wheelie on reflex and ride it for a little bit, but it's very difficult to like ride what you call like an unlimited wheelie on reflex, because it kind of has like a cutoff point where you just can't keep it up anymore. Like, you literally just can't. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Like that right there. 1,000. Okay. Oh, here we go, dude. 700. Ugh. Man, I got that kind of mindset where, like, I'll just sit here and do shit for, like, literally 3 years until I learn it. Doesn't matter how hard it is. I'll just sit here forever on stuff. I don't know why I've always been like that, man. And I think that's a big reason why I've gotten so good at MX Sim, is because I just don't let something beat me. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I just don't. Oh, yeah, dog. There's a little 1500. I just sit there and do it over and over and over until I get it, you know? I have that sort of, like, endless grind mindset, and I've always had that ever since forever. I've had that kind of mindset, so... yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword having that mindset, because you'll kind of run yourself into the ground without even realizing it, but you do also get a lot of things done that you wouldn't normally get done, so that's a cool aspect of it, and you're able to do some things that a lot of other people can't do. Oh, that's a Mac Daddy. Ooh, man, I mean, I was landing on the downside of that, but that was still way too much height air time. Probably wasn't going to be able to land that anyways, so... Now, this free ride map does actually have a little motocross portion on it. The actual MX track of it right here towards the middle. Pretty cool little track. Not too bad. Don't you just love when you get a little itch on your nose and you have absolutely no idea what it is, and you try to wipe your nose and it doesn't come off? It's like some invisible fuzz ball that you can't get off your nose, and it just keeps on itching, keeps on itching, keeps on itching. You can't get it off. What the hell is that? Oh, man. Okay, whoa. This is, what? So this is like not the track I was on to race to get this free ride map. So is there like multiple motocross tracks on this, or is this just a little figure 8 track? What the hell is this? Huh. Let me see. Yeah, this is just some sort of like little figure 8 little whatever track here. Interesting. I got a little confused there. I thought this was the sure enough motocross track, but it's not. That's up over here somewhere. All right, but yeah, it's got the cool northern lights in the background, and let me see if I can get where I can see it. And on top of that, it's got this little green fog, or like little green haze effect. See that moving across the screen over there? Kind of giving you the feeling like the northern lights are like illuminating and moving at the same time. So it's got more than just a skybox, right? It's got a little bit more to it than that, so it definitely kind of plays into the whole theme of the track and kind of makes it feel a little bit more alive, having that little green fog effect to it there. That's basically all that is, the green fog effect moving, and then it's the same color as the green northern lights in the background. So it's cool how the skybox and the northern lights here is not too like overbearing. It's not too much. It's almost to the point where you don't even really see the northern lights unless you're actually looking for it. Like, you don't really see it unless you jump pretty big, you know, and you look up like that. You're not really going to see it. So it's interesting how it's kind of like just a standard winter track, but then you've got this, cool Northern Lights kind of thing going on. I keep auto resetting on accident. I don't know how the hell I'm doing that, but that's cool though, dude. Like you can get like this right here where you can see the Northern Lights. Oh, baby. That's what I live for right there, dog. Freaking motocross bike whips, and all I see is stars, dude. Hell yeah. All right, race camera 2. Helmet cam. You sit a little more in the helmet cam for sure. What the hell? Yeah, that's what? Okay, I've got to fix that. That's a major issue. So I didn't realize it was actually doing that, but what it's doing is when I've got my gas on the right trigger and then brake on the left trigger, but when I hit them both at the same time, then it resets me, which is not good at all because there's a lot of times I'm like hitting the brake while I've got my gas on. You know what I mean? That's just something you naturally do in a lot of motocross games. You got so like that right there, holy shit. You know how like you got your gas on, but you're getting on the brake at the same time? Well, if you do that here, you're screwed basically. It's just going to reset you. Oh, that's weird doing a whip in an old game like this. Oh, wow. I can't believe they would make the button layout like that. That is bizarre. That is interesting. So, yeah, the actual motocross track here. Let me see if I can get to it. It's up over here. Oh, big hucks. And then I can't even jump it because I get on my brakes. What the hell? Something's going wrong with that because there's no way. There is no way. I think, yeah, that's what it is I'm trying to get on my brake while I'm in the air to try to get the whips to go further around. That's kind of how you get the whips to move further. But I've got my throttle on still because I'm a lazy fuck, and I like to just keep my throttle on all the time, right? I like to just hold it on in the air, but I guess technically you're supposed to let off throttle in the air and get on your brakes or it'll reset you. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Short track. So I guess that's what that other little thing was a short track. Pretty cool little free ride section right here, though. See, like, it's hard to be on your gas and jump a really short jump with your brake on and try to, like, make your whip or your scrub carry over more. It's hard to do that without it resetting you. This was back in the day where you had to work off of preset button layouts, so you can't just go in there and adjust every little button. This is the real MX track right here. Let's see. Yeah, this is it. So the whole, like, purple pipe thing they got going on this track definitely gives it a whole nother layer to it. Like, I thought that was a really cool addition to it. You know, if it didn't have that, it'd be a little bit more of a basic barren. That gives it a little bit of a structural kind of, let me see how to explain that. Little bit of a civilized, a little more civilized, not so like just a raw out in the woods kind of feeling on the track. Gives it a little bit more of like, oh, hey, we're actually at a place here. So that's kind of interesting, kind of cool. But yeah, I do. This is the actual, technically the motocross track on it. I do like it. What the hell is going on? I swear to God, there is something going on with my suspension. I'm popping off, and not in a good way. Like on everything. What in the hell? I literally just got in racing on this track to unlock this. Didn't wreck a single time on it. Never let off the gas. Didn't wreck a single time. Now I'm like wrecking on every little section. Like, what the hell? So that's a little bit of a hook. I saw that earlier. That cool little bigger line you can attempt to hit. Come around here. You can kind of work your corners super tight. Now this pretty cool little gap jump right here. Ugh. That's cool. You can kind of like not seat bounce at all, and you'll land it just perfectly. You know, if you're trying to shave off a little bit of that air time, get back on the ground quicker. Nice little uphill. You come around here and you hit this. They've got a lot of these sections a few of these sections in this game where it's like you'll almost have like a whoop, but changing in height type of motocross section, but it's like a rhythm section, so it's like a roller, but you'll have rollers that go up, and then they're kind of combined with whoops, so it gives you this interesting little feeling like that. And this is a cool area right here where it jumps angled, kind of does this little angled jump thing. Probably quite a few different variations of different types of jumps and stuff you can hit right there, so that is cool. And you come back around, that's the actual finish line jump. So yeah, man, not too bad. I just like when they have that unique on-track feeling, just kind of something different here and there. But here's the little pipes. going around that area. That's how you can kind of tell where the actual motocross tracks are on it. So you can get on your brakes and make that bike do a lot more in the air than you could otherwise. What's the actual trick button here? Is it... There's a pendulum. Damn, that right there is going to hurt. I pretty much know if I'm going to wreck before I even hit the ground, like as soon as I come off the jump face. Let's try to do a trick or something here. Flatliner, okay. So this was back in the day. There I go again with that auto reset bullshit. So this was back in the day when you could, like, hold the trick for longer. You know what I mean? Like, I can hold it for as long as I want to hold it, and then when I let off, it goes back. So that's an interesting thing, having that all the way back in the day like this. Could you do a backflip on this? Or no? There's probably a certain particular button to do a backflip. I'm sure you can. But backflips, you know, back in these days wasn't even that big of like a freestyle trick. Nowadays, like, you know, mandatory to be able to do a backflip, or you're not even going to be able to do freestyle motocross. But back then, it wasn't the same. Ooh, okay. Finally landed somewhat of a big jump. So I think that is all in how I, let's see. Yeah, lazy boy, furniture. Let's see here. There's a taunt. Okay. So yeah, it's all in. See, it's bizarre because back in these days, a lot of the games, nothing. I just did a nothing, bro. Get on my level. Can, there we go. Back in these days, a lot of the games were based off of the actual D-pad, but obviously nowadays games aren't. So I'm playing this on a 360, right? Or was this for 360? I can't remember. Either way, I'm playing it on a damn 360, but it can play old games too. This may have been for original Xbox. I'm not sure. I know MX Unleashed is for original Xbox only, but you can still play it on 360 because they were actually cool and have backwards compatibility on the 360. What the hell are you fucking game companies doing with these, or console companies doing, Microsoft and Sony? Make it backwards compatible. I don't give a shit. Like, make it where I can play a PS1 game on a PS5. For the love of God, you really don't have that technology? Please. Please. Put it in there. Damn. There's another nothing and a taunt. Oh, it's so retarded how like you barely get on your brakes while you're on the gas, just auto reset you. That is a really stupid button layout. I'll say that right now. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. But either way, man, some of these free riding videos are probably going to be a little bit longer than my normal stuff. There's the whole pendulum. Okay. To the reset, as per usual. Damn it, Spencer. God. Okay. Oh my God. What it is you almost can't even get on your brakes while you're gassing it in the air. Which, it doesn't make sense to be on the brakes while you're on the gas, but that's just something that naturally happens a lot in these games. Like, you just naturally, when you're transitioning from your brake to your gas or your gas to your brake, you know, a lot of times you're still a little bit on your gas when you get on your brakes, or a little bit on your brakes when you get on your gas. But if you do that here, it resets you. I mean, if you just like barely, I'm on my gas right now, right? If I just barely touch my brake, boop, boop, like that, it resets me. Oh my God, that is retarded. Like, why? I can't even hardly do a stoppie, because when I try to stop, I'm still on the gas. Oh, stoppies are way easier than wheelies. Holy crap. What the hell is up with that? Stoppies are literally like 1,000 times easier than a wheelie. Good Lord. Man, that dump in the clutch, that ain't doing it for me here. I mean, you can ride a wheelie, but you run out of, like, gear. You know what I mean? Like, you can get it... you can get it up there, but it's tough to keep it in that prime spot. Oh my God, you can instantly flip over, too. Oh, shit. I'm not even on a straight line. Good little track to, practice your wheelies on, that's for sure. Okay. It's like I'm having to be so... This reminds me of wheeling on MX vs. ATV Untamed. It's the same way in that game, too. Really, really hard to actually ride the wheelie and keep it in a certain spot. You know what I mean? Shit. This is like harder to ride a wheelie on this game than it is damn MX Simulator. Good God. Okay. It's like you got to be so micro on the throttle or it'll just do that right there. Man, that sucks that it's like that. There we go. There's a little bit of one. But you can do stoppies for days and a half. Like, let me get my speed going here. And then, of course, I reset because I still got the gas on 0.5 microseconds of a second. When I try, I can't even do a damn stoppie. It won't even let me do a stoppie. Wow, I'm going to have to change that button layout. There's no way that's going to work. Look at how much more of a stoppie you can do. That's like a really good stoppie system right there. For this age of a game, that's where it's at, bro. You can do it. You can, like, pull up the stoppie fairly easily, but you can also flip it over easy, too. You know, it's got to have that balance of, like, it needs to have that perfect balance, basically. That's the only way to explain it. Like, you need to be able to get it to a stoppie point pretty easily, but like with the wheelie, it's hard to even get it to the wheelie point without it going back down forward or going too far backwards. You know? Like, you can get it right there, run you a little, but then it just runs out of the gear and goes right back down to where it was. You know what I mean? So it's, like, really hard to actually make it go for much of an extent. I don't think the wheelie is as easy as the stoppie here, which is not good. I think your wheelies and stoppies should both be equally difficult in a motocross game, in my opinion, but that's just me. Like, I can't get a wheelie much over, 1,000 most of the time here. There we go. There's one 1,400. I think the most I got was a 1,500 one a while ago. There's a 1,200, but, like, I can go over here and, like, the first stoppie I do will be, if I can even fucking do one, first stoppie I'll do will be, like, 3,000, right? You see the difference? Like, get on here and do a stoppie. $3,300. So I'm literally doing like twice the distance of a stoppie that I am on the wheelie. So if that don't go to show you that it just doesn't, it should carry that out a little more. Even when I'm doing it at a little bit more of a speed, it should carry. You see how that just goes right back down? Maybe it'd do it easier on a 4-stroke or something, possibly. But, man, you got to be so micro on the throttle when you're pulling it up right here. Oh, my God. Like, you got to be so easy on it, Let's see. Well, this has turned into a wheelie video and a half. Okay, so that was like 1,200 something. Now I'm getting to spinning. Okay, either way, boys, I could sit here and do this for another week straight, so I'll cut this video off right here, but I had some fun getting on here, talking about some cool stuff, some old games. We'll get back on there and play some more of these old ones in the near future as well, too, so appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.